The wife of Columbia University activist Mahmoud Khalil delivered the couple's first child while her husband remains in custody of immigration officials. Immigration and Customs Enforcement denied Khalil's request for a temporary release from a detention center in Louisiana to attend the birth in New York City. The Trump administration is seeking to deport Khalil, a legal permanent resident, for his role in pro-Palestinian protests on Columbia's campus last year, arguing he is a threat to national security. Earlier this month, a judge ruled those efforts could move forward. In a statement, Khalil's wife said, quote, "My son and I should not be navigating his first days on earth without Mahmoud. ICE and the Trump administration have stolen these precious moments from our family in an attempt to silence Mahmoud's support for Palestinian freedom." CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman joins us now. Where does Mahmoud Khalil's case stand right now?
Lindsay, tomorrow there is a deadline in that immigration case where, as you said, the judge has determined that Khalil could be deported under that little-known statute. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that his presence in the U.S. is adverse to U.S. foreign policy interest. Tomorrow, his lawyers have a deadline for filing for relief. So this could be, they could try asking for asylum, for example, or withholding of removal, a way to keep him in this country and not have him deported yet.
Now, if they were to do one of those things like claim asylum, is the little-known rule or law that Secretary of State Marco Rubio is invoking, does that overpower what they will be arguing in court, or we don't know yet because they haven't even argued it?
Yeah, we don't know. That's something that the immigration judge would have to weigh their arguments for those versus that statute.
Okay, so a federal judge also held a hearing Tuesday blocking the Trump administration from using the Alien Enemies Act, this wartime law that we keep talking about, to deport migrants. This is taking place in the Southern District of New York. You were there. What can you tell us? What was notable?
Lindsay, this was a very heated hearing. The judge was absolutely scathing to the government, particularly to the lack of notice and an opportunity for meaningful hearing for these people who have been deported. At one point, he sounded emotional, honestly, and was talking about, you know, those images we've seen of them shackled, bent over, brought into this prison in El Salvador, where then the U.S. says they cannot be returned. What the government tried to say in this hearing, Lindsay, is that he doesn't have the right of judicial review over this statute, over President Trump's proclamation related to the Alien Enemy Act. The judge said otherwise. He said that the Supreme Court has given him this right and that he thinks that proclamation is contrary to law. So this is an issue that's also now before the Supreme Court. But for now, in the Southern District of New York, none of these men can be deported.
So when we got that Supreme Court ruling Saturday blocking any more flights under the Alien Enemies Act, was that in a specific jurisdiction or was that nationwide?
That was for the Northern District of Texas. Okay. And that's what's tricky here. So the ACLU's attorney, Lee Gallant, was there today. And what he said in a hearing the other day is that if the Supreme Court won't make a nationwide ruling, which is what he wants, he's going to have to file in all other 94 districts, I believe, are left so far. So actually, there was a judgment in Colorado today. After the hearing, he was headed to the Southern District of Texas, because right now, these all have to happen where people are being confined.
Okay, before we let you go, we have to be quick here. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's case. This is the man who was living in Maryland, originally from El Salvador. Yes. He was deported due to an administrative error. We know that many lawmakers are now involved in trying to get him back to the United States, and his lawyers are requesting a hearing for Wednesday. What should we know?
So this is yet another case where the judge seems livid with the government. They were supposed to turn over discovery by today. Mr. Abrego Garcia's attorney said that they only turned over some public documents and are not complying with this request. What the government says is that it's based on a false premise that they can or should get Mr. Abrego Garcia released from custody in El Salvador. The judge has responded tonight, Lindsay. She says that this is a willful, bad faith, and evasive refusal to answer questions, and she wants that discovery by the evening tomorrow.
Is this the same judge who had ordered the United States to facilitate his return back to the U.S. and is asking for daily updates?
Yes, this is the same judge who's asking them to comply with that, what she views as an order from the Supreme Court. Exactly.
Okay, much more developments to follow this week. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lindsay.